it's like good horsemanship. You have to have that foundation to then go on to do all the fun, exciting things, right? So it all starts with having the skill sets and you build it up. And I think that's true to anything in life. We all think we see the actresses on the big screen or my horses on Heartland and it's fun and it's exciting. But what you don't see is the thousands of hours of hard work that goes into it.
Welcome to the WinEH podcast. This show is focused on empowering ranchers. Whether you're a seasoned rancher or just getting started, we'll guide you on how to use the infinite banking concept as an alternative way to finance your operations. It's a better way to think about money. Join us as we discuss planning for the future, attracting the next generation, and the art of keeping more money within the family. Here's your hosts, Winnie and Lacey.
Welcome in. We are sitting here live today on location, very special episode on the Ranch Your Way show. And Lacey, why don't you introduce this very special lady sitting right in between us?
Okay, so we are live in Brooks, Alberta at the 2024 Heart of the Horse with my friend and producer, Niki Flundra. So welcome to our show, Nikki. We're so honored that we are showing up here for the 4th year in a row. We're grateful that we can partner with you and sponsor this event and take it all in. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Nikki's an incredible horsewoman herself and does an amazing job producing events. So,
like
why
this
don't you
one.
tell us, tell us a little bit about Heart of the Horse and how you came up with the name.
Sure. Well, I will start by saying thank you for having me with you this morning. You ladies have become a big part of Dustin and our life, not just at Heart of the Horse, but in our life at home on the ranch. And I consider you now to be very good friends and part of our Heart of the Horse family. So thank you for doing this. And how we came up with Heart of the Horse and the name. Actually, I was driving the feed truck, feeding cows one day, and I was like, I think I want to put on an event. And it kind of like just grew in my mind from there. And I have always done a lot of different disciplines with horses and spent the majority of my life working with horses. They've been such a part of my life, and everything big and good that has happened in my life, horses have been a part of. So I wanted to create an event surrounding that. And throughout my Liberty and my trick riding and my Liberty journey with the horses, I really discovered how much heart comes out in these animals. Like there's just nothing that can describe it almost. How much they'll try for you and how much you can just see how incredible they are and what they will try and what they will do with you and for you is the whole reason behind the name. And just wanted everybody to celebrate how kind of special they are. So that's the kind of soul behind this event and the name for it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome because I think when people get to know you on a personal level, then the name Heart of the Horse and the event that you put on it all just goes hand in hand because that is truly your heart. And so we just wanted to take a moment in our show and highlight you and highlight your event. And so I think Winnie has some burning questions for you too.
Yeah, well, as we're talking about how Heart of the Horse happened, did this come to be like just right before 2020?
Yes, our first event was 2019.
Okay.
And it went really well and great. And then 2020, we were shut down.
So this just means like how committed you are, right, to this event. Because I think for most people, you would just sort of give up under those circumstances.
Yeah, it was tough. We had to take a year off after we started that momentum, had an amazing event in 2019, and then just nothing, like no way to carry it forward. And then 2021, we kind of figured a way to do an outdoor version and on a kind of limited scale. And then since then, we've just kind of taken off again.
Yes. And you're taking off again in this upcoming, like 2025, right?
Yeah.
Which is why we also wanted to take a moment to highlight Nikki because like we're looking forward to being able to join you in Medicine Hat.
Medicine Hat, yes. Yeah, we're making a big move next year to the Cypress Center, Medicine Hat.
Okay.
And we're really excited about the opportunities that venue and that city and all the ways we can grow and bring everything that we hope and wish for this event to life.
Yeah. And being that I did not grow up with horses, so I'm coming to appreciate horses because of my relationship with Lacey and because of my relationship with you. So like I feel like I'm a toddler attempting to really understand this connection, right? Like I only this year started getting really comfortable. Like when I go visit Lacey, I'll like touch the horse.
Right.
I'm only really starting to understand like the whole relationship to it. So I am grateful to be growing with the two of you in that way. And the colt starting competition that you have here that I think really, really touched me from like 4 years ago. Like I've never seen anything like it. And like, if I was a person who was very dedicated to training the horse the way that they would want, this is such a special place to be. Like everyone should come here and learn a lot more. There's so much to learn here through the whole activity of the colt starting competition.
Yeah. Our tagline has always been educate, entertain, and inspire. And that's what we have. There's tons to learn. We want it to be entertaining and we want to leave you feeling inspired. That's our whole thought.
Yeah. So then that's spilling over into spectators like Winnie, who doesn't have a life with horses. Yeah. And so you know that your mission and your goal for the event is you can see.
Yeah. And one of the best compliments we get is people that come for whatever reason and aren't really, they're not really horse lovers or even affiliated with horses at all. And they're just like, this is amazing. We love it. There's just something for everybody here. And you don't necessarily even have to be integrated into the horse industry at all. So that's cool to me.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too, like as someone who comes and watches, and horses are in my life every day, but to watch the competitors in the round pen and even to watch the clinics. Like there's 3 clinics, the trainers are putting on clinic. So even to watch the clinics is inspiring that someone who isn't in the round pen training can get something from the event and go home and be inspired and have that belief in themselves and the belief in their horses that they too can accomplish great things, even though they're not in the round pen. So I think that is really amazing. And so it's so cool too to look back. We were at the 2021 event. So it's really cool to see how we have evolved and the Heart of the Horse has evolved. And so what's your dream, like, say, in 5 years? Where do you see this event?
Well, my dream for the event is to just be a community of people that, for that one weekend in August, everybody comes and just has the best time. And we want to grow it to where the trade show is really the venue that we're moving into has just a huge trade show potential. Yeah. I really would like to see that area grow because I believe that will take us a little more mainstream and welcome a lot more people from different walks of life to the event. And that's a way we can share our passion for horses is by figuring ways to kind of make it a little more mainstream and then hit them with the awesome horse stuff. So that's the goal, is just to grow the whole, keep adding new additions, making everything bigger, grow the trade show and get more people through the doors.
Yeah, I think that is awesome. And that's an incredible dream to have because I grew up in the States. So I see the huge events that go on down there. And we kind of lack that here in Canada, that ability to go and have that entertainment to feed our horse heart, right?
Yeah.
And so having an event like this where Canadians can flock to,
and even Americans, if they want to. I mean, your dollar in the States will go a long way here. So don't be afraid.
It's not that far from the border, right? Hop the border and come for a weekend of Canadian.
Yeah. And like you said, we don't have a ton of equine related big events in Canada. And it's so good for the industry to have that, to create that interest and awareness and education and and just all of it. So that's the goal.
Yeah. And I'd love to add the fact that, stewardship, just respect and stewardship of the horses is, I see that coming through in all, like anyone who's competing in the competition, but just listening to the thought process that goes behind everything.
That's why our demographic is really, we have a lot of agricultural based fans coming here because it goes so hand in hand with the stewardship of a rancher with their land and the animals and the horses. And it all just is our way of life, right? It's how you treat everything and everybody. And that's just the way that's the message we want to spread.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So, can I ask one of your questions?
Sure.
If money was no object, what would you do differently?
Oh, if money was no object, what would I do differently? Honestly, in my day-to-day life, and even with this event, it would just be more freedom to me to do things exactly the way that I would want to do them without any concern for what it would cost or having to stick to a budget. Or I would love to be able to just do this and not charge people anything.
Right.
That would be a dream come true for me.
Right.
But I guess that's not really my reality at the moment.
Right.
But it would give me just such a sense of freedom in our personal life, in our, with Heart of the Horse, with all of it. It would be fun.
Right.
Okay. So if money wasn't an object, unfortunately, it is.
It always is.
But because we were talking about stewardship before, like there's stewardship of our horses, there's stewardship of money.
Yes.
And I guess if there was anything that you could share, like in order to get to a place where you're able to hold this event, what did you have to do for financial stewardship to be able to put on this?
Yeah.
event?
So I had this in the back of my mind for a while. And really, I wanted to be able to fund it myself. And so as I have gained wisdom and age over the years, I have become wiser with my finances. And you two have been a huge part of that journey for me in just educating me and putting a system in place to where I'm making good decisions and able to save and set ourselves up for the future. And that's what it took for this. I saved the money, I made smart decisions, and I funded it myself. And that was important to me because it was a huge risk and I didn't want to come out of it. I mean, I wanted my own skin in the game, but I didn't want to be hung out to dry if for some reason it didn't work. So I made sure that I had kind of all my ducks in a row. And and you two were a huge part. I think, how long have we been working together now? So like three almost 4 years.
Yeah, almost 4 years.
So pretty close to the start of kind of this journey. And there's a lot of peace of mind that comes with making smart financial decisions, because as much as we want to be like, oh, money's not everything and it doesn't determine everything, it's a huge part of what we do in our life. And you can certainly make yourself more at ease. And for us, it's the freedom and flexibility that comes with making those good decisions and getting things sorted out so we can live our lives the way we want to live our lives.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing all of that. Like, it's going to help inspire other people who are looking to endeavor to do big things with their dreams. And it's always good to be reminded of what it takes.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, like, would there be any sort of a message around, like, if there was something that, like a mistake that you wouldn't mind sharing so that other people can learn from it and hopefully allow them to move past their own mistake? And because you've moved forward, like we've all made mistakes around money and, or experienced pain around it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think just like in my younger years when I was performing and here and there, and I didn't really have the responsibility of a family, all of those type of things, I was pretty freewheeling with my money. I mean, I made good money, and I mean, it was expensive to be out on the road. But when you're in your early 20s and you're booking all these things and you're making good money, and it just feels like you're never going to have another broke day. So I wish I could have gone back and made better decisions for my future then. I would have been a lot further ahead now. But you do better when you know better, and that's what I did. So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to say we don't know what we know until we know it, right? And we can't go back. And there's yeah, maybe we have regrets in life, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what we know now and where we want to go. And so that's what I like to focus on, especially when we're working with clients, is like, okay, we always get the statement, I wish I knew about this 20 years ago. I wish I knew about this when I was 20 and making good money, right? And that's even for Reed and I. We wish we knew about it when he was welding and making
100%.
really good money. And so we don't know what we don't know. And so now we know and we move forward. So would you mind sharing with our listeners, like you said, Dustin and Nikki, they've been working with us for about 4 years now. What can you share with them? What's it like working with us?
Oh, it's been awesome. I think what I appreciate the most about working with both of you ladies is how much you have put into knowing us on a personal level and knowing our life and what we need and what our goals are and what we're working towards and how to do that within the life that we live, which is crazy at times. And I know you guys understand that and work with us on that.
We've got talking to you while you guys are in the truck.
Yes,
driving.
like we've got like 27 irons in the fire at all times, and you just roll with it. And that's what we need. That's what makes it possible for us. And I appreciate that on so many levels because that's our risk. And we have 3 boys that make life so busy and then so many different career things that we're involved with. So the fact that you just make it work and you've come to know us and set it up for us to ask us about where do we want to be, what are our goals, and then make that possible for us is a game changer for us. And then just the fact of like how educated you are in what you do and how you make it easy for us. You know, you walk us through the things we don't understand or we haven't yet learned about. All of that type of thing it's been good for us.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. That means so much. Fills my cup right up, makes my whole day. I think it's really cool that the kids, they join in on our meeting. And sometimes we might have a new client that comes to us, I'm so sorry, my kid is here. And we're like, no, we want them here. Like I have a daughter. She is often in meetings with me.
If I could make a note on that, I think it's so important to start kids. We think about the mistakes we made. Well, as a parent, I want my kids to be educated at an early age and learn
where I was going.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
It's so important to me that they hear our meetings and go, oh, Mom and Dad are doing this. And they just catch little.
It's so great because our hope is that they catch those little tidbits and that we are making changes for that next generation and not just for your kids, but for your grandkids. And so we want to change what we've all been taught, and we want to set up those next generations for success and for not having to go through the pain that we've all gone through or may have gone through, right? And so I think it's awesome when the kids, I saw a little case and he knows me from Zoom.
Yeah.
And so, it fills my whole heart.
It's pretty awesome.
His dimples, man. You get me all the time.
It's hard to say no.
Yeah. Well, and, just to add to everything that you're saying, I mean, there's a lot to be grateful for in life. And life can also be really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
And when we have a support system in place around our finances, especially, and then just making it easier for that next generation too, it ultimately elevates the quality of family life, at every single turn.
Yeah. I think we can relate it to, Winnie and I talked about this recently, talking about finances to talking about mental health. There was such a stigma. Nobody wanted to talk about mental health. Now people are talking about it. You know what? We need to talk about finances too. We need to talk about the health of our finances because that is one of the main stressors when people come to us, and it has been in my life too. And so let's make it to where it's not a cliche thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it and let's get us all to a place where we feel freedom and control. And for me, hope and peace in our finances.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well said.
Awesome.
Here. We're only missing, we had one more question that hasn't been asked yet, and that's about liberty training.
Oh, okay. Okay. So one last question to end off the episode. So I'm a young girl. I come to you. I want to mimic what you do in the trick riding or the liberty training, and possibly even stepping into the film industry because you've had your horses on the big screen quite a bit. Where do I start?
All of it starts. I tell all the little girls or anybody that comes to me with that kind of interest is it's like good horsemanship. You have to have that foundation to then go on to do all the fun, exciting things, right? So it all starts with having the skill set.
So it kind of relates to our finances, right? If you want freedom in your finances, you got to be willing to put in the hard work.
Yeah.
If you want freedom and success in your wherever you want to go with your dreams with your horses, it starts at the beginning.
At the bottom, yeah. And you build it up. And I think that's true to anything in life. We all think we see the actresses on the big screen or my horses on Heartland, and it's fun and it's exciting. But what you don't see is the thousands of hours of hard work that goes into it.
Okay, so that I remember years ago, Ridge was a baby. And I'm like, Nikki, oh my gosh, like, how do you do this? Because you were performing at rodeos still.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I put him in the stroller and I push him down the road until he falls asleep. And then I haul butt back to the barn, do my training. I have about 45-minute window, maybe. And that's when the work.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. When the kids were little, it was hard. I look back and I'm like, I don't even actually know how I did that, but you just do it. And for anybody, I mean, I think it starts with just having that grit and that determination to put the time in. Mm-hmm. And then it's not like you actively go out and seek the opportunities. When you put the things in place that need to be in place, everything else lines up. The film work will come, the performances will come, the clinics will come, the whatever you want to do. If you put the things in place that need to be there to do that, then things just start to happen. It's not like you go, okay, I want my horses to be on Heartland. So you go approach Heartland about that. You need to start doing all the training and have the horse lineup that will do all the things. Yeah. And then things start to happen. So it's like anything. I just tell little girls, like, find somebody. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Find somebody that's doing it and doing it well and learn from them. Learn everything you can. Soak it in. Take the clinics. Go to the schools. Ask the people. People are more than willing to share the information.
Yeah.
And do the work.
Yeah. I think back when I was in school, I worked for a neighbor lady and I cleaned her barn and I took care of her horses, and I learned so much in that time. And a lot of what I know now, as far as taking care of horses, managing stick or layouts, I learned way back when I was 15 years old, getting paid $7 an hour to scoop poop. And also where I learned how to back up a bumper pull trailer because I did it with a lawnmower and a little trailer. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited for this whole weekend ahead. So,
yes, I will. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
And you listening over there, Lacey, you're usually the one that finishes it off. So
we appreciate you. You know where you can find us. Send us questions, comments, weCare@rancherway.com. Head over to our website, rancherway.com. We now have the Canadian version of Farming Without the Bank. Grab your copy. That's where your journey starts to infinite banking. Grab your copy there, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
So glad you leaned in with us on the WinEH podcast. We truly hope you're feeling more informed and empowered to take another step towards optimizing your financial life. Right now, make sure you hit subscribe so you can keep growing and learning with us. Until next time, we wish you prosperity in every area of your life.